What's up, everybody? It's Shane from Five Idiots Talking Toys. Tonight, you have one idiot here to review episode number 5 of Obi Wan Kenobi on Disney Plus. Thank you very much for joining me in this quick video. You are joining me now because you just finished episode 5 of Obi Wan Kenobi, and if you're like me, you thoroughly enjoyed it. I feel like it was very story driven, but at the same time also packed with action, many periods of action throughout the episode. So really enjoyed it. Just looking over to remind myself and refresh myself how we stepped through the episode. It starts off with Anakin and Obi-Wan. It's a flashback back at the Jedi Temple or some really nice place within a city where they are going to spar. And let's throw that up on the screen now.
You weren't coming.
You'll see this. You'll see this scene early on in the
Maybe I
episode,
stand more of a chance this time.
and you could tell right away that there is some age on Anakin's face. Right?
You?
He
Then let's begin.
it is Hayden Christensen now in 2022 acting like the Padawan or Jedi in training. So you can kind of see that age on his face go along in the tooth, but very cool to see that again. Very cool to revisit Obi Wan Kenobi from the prequel trilogy, Anakin from the prequel trilogy, with them sparring and with him teaching his Padawan. So next after that, that was a cool little flashback. Next after that, we jump right over to the Empire. Okay, Vader is on his ship, and Reva, the third sister, walks in. Let's just give a little taste of that. Here is Vader telling her to kneel,
Grand Inquisitor,
and calling her Grand Inquisitor. So he's letting her know that she's taking the post that she's wanted, that she's craved, that she's been after.
Captain. We leave for Jabim at once.
So that's it. They're going to go right after Obi-Wan and all the refugees. They don't really know they're going after the refugees, I suppose, but they're going after Obi-Wan first and foremost. Reva has put a tracker in Princess Leia's droid Lola. At first, when I heard that in the previous episode, I thought maybe that was just going to be some nonsense, something that she thought of at the last second to keep Vader, happy with her, pleased enough to not, get rid of her. But it turns out she was smart enough to put a tracker in the Lola droid. She actually tracked Kenobi to where they went, to Jabim. And that's it. They went right there. So we next cut to Jabim, where Obi is there with all of the refugees. He's there with the guy who promised to help him. His name is slipping me right now. But they go through a scene where they're now aware that Vader is on the way. Kenobi can feel it. Kenobi knows that Vader is on the way with a whole, platoon, a whole squadron of stormtroopers, and all those refugees are in trouble now. So he again, this harkens back to the original trilogy when Obi says, Vader can sense me. And it also harkens back to when Luke says in Return of the Jedi, I'm jeopardizing this mission. I shouldn't have come. Now, this wasn't a mission necessarily, that the reason why Obi-Wan went to Jabim, where the refugees are. He was, literally escaping when they went to the Empire and got Princess Leia back. So he just knows he's jeopardizing these people as he's with them, not necessarily a mission. So quickly thereafter, the Empire shows up. Reva shows up in her ship. She's got a full platoon with her. Really cool visuals here, because you're getting a whole squadron of stormtroopers. You're getting Death Squad troopers with the red pauldrons, so you can tell, they're the commanders underneath Reva for these stormtroopers. And it harkens back to Rogue One, gives you that feeling of the OG stormtroopers, but done in a more modern, it's a classic way, but it's a modern way where you're seeing a lot more than you saw in the prequel with the way that the troops would work in squads and how they would form up and the weapons that they had. They have a heavy gunner, just really cool. Also, Mandalorian, right? You saw a lot of those stormtrooper remnants in Mandalorian still acting the same way, setting up the same way that you saw here in episode 5. So inside, you've got Obi taking charge. Obi Wan Kenobi has woken up, folks. Everybody, I won't say everybody, but a lot of people were concerned about Obi Wan Kenobi not being himself anymore, being the old guy who's forgotten how to do it. He's not a Jedi anymore. He doesn't know how to use the Force. He has to find his buried lightsaber. I get it all. I'm with you. But I called this in our previous reviews. I said, we're going to see Obi-Wan Kenobi in the final 2 episodes. So here we are. He's back to a mild version of General Kenobi. Okay. So he's with these people. It's not an army, but he's with these people. He steps up. He's ready to lead them to safety, hopefully. And he's ready to do what he needs to do to hold off the Empire, to stall them. He knows that they're there just for him, to let these people get to safety. Princess Leia around this time and Tala everybody's working together to figure out how they're going to do this. Princess Leia goes up into the rafters shortly thereafter to try to fix the wiring, which, to me is crazy. We haven't really seen anything about her being specifically great with electronics or anything like that. She wasn't the whiz, but maybe maybe it's passed down from Anakin, right? He built C-3PO. He was a whiz with electronics from early on in episode 1. So maybe it's a callback to that, and it's been passed down genetically. We do see Bail Organa make a call to Obi-Wan, or send a message, I should say, not an open call, but to let him know he's been trying to get a hold of him. He hopes they're okay, but geez, at this point, if he doesn't hear from him, he's going to head to Tatooine himself to make sure Luke is okay. So there's some conversation between Tala and Obi-Wan, and then this is the point when he says, okay, I'm going to stall everybody. And this is when Obi-Wan, goes back into that Jedi mode. And he is a protector of the people. He is a fighter against the Empire. He's a defender. He is going to defend anybody and everybody he can, on the good side there. And so he goes up to the blast door, which is sealed, in which the stormtroopers have been trying to blast through with the heavy artillery, and the rest of the squadron's blasting, the spot on the door. Reva just walks up. The third sister walks up. They both can feel each other's on the other side of the door, and they begin to communicate. And that's the shocking moment. That's the moment that I believe I called out as a possibility in one of the previous episodes reviewed. Maybe when we reviewed episode 3, I think I said this. There is a real possibility that Reva is playing a game here, that the third sister is playing a game. She is not truly sworn to the Empire. She is not truly trying to hunt down Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that's still a little bit ambiguous, but she is literally after Vader, and she wants to get close to Vader because she was one of the younglings, and it turns out she was one of the younglings in the Jedi Temple when Order 66 started. So that's when Anakin showed up, murdered most of the younglings, all of the Force sensitive beings that were there. She played dead, it turned out. She got out of there alive, and now she's spent her whole life since being 7 or 8 years old, 9 or 10 years old, figuring out how to get to Anakin, how to get to Darth Vader and pay him back. So that was a really great scene. It was an interesting scene for Obi-Wan to feel and find out that that's truly what she was doing. And he tried to get her to team up. She didn't know if she could trust him. She wasn't real close to teaming up with him, it didn't sound like. But that was a huge reveal right there. And then it was followed by a great action scene. So we have this action scene interwoven throughout the episode of Anakin, the flashback of Anakin and Obi-Wan jousting, I won't say jousting, but battling, practicing with the lightsabers, dueling. And so that was woven throughout the episode. But then we have this great action scene of the stormtroopers getting through the blast door. Reva sticks her lightsaber in, cuts open the blast door. They get through, and so there's a great action scene with the stormtroopers stormtrooping into the facility that they're in, and so the rebels, early rebels, the refugees, whatever you want to call them, start battling back, and Tala's right there in the center of all of it. Her loading droid is there in the center, all of it. They put up a really good fight, but it's a nice action scene with Obi-Wan with the lightsaber, lots of blast bolts going back and forth. That was really great to see. That was fun to watch. That was a tense moment. And then we get to the point where Tala sacrifices herself. She pulls out that detonator, just like Leia Bosch in Return of the Jedi. That same detonator, sacrifices herself, tells Obi-Wan to run. He can't get back to her. She holds them off big time by blowing up that whole hallway, that whole cave, and then Obi is back with the refugees, and he says, "I've got to give myself up. There's no other way for you to get out of here." So I really enjoyed this episode. I know I'm kind of recapping here, and that's cool. That's part of what my goal is here. But I think I'm also sharing my feelings with you as well. Obi-Wan again becomes that Jedi who's always going to sacrifice himself for the good of the people, and that's what he does here. He wants everybody to get to safety. We're then interwoven with another scene of them dueling. That throwback scene of with Anakin, and then finally, Leia finds Lola, takes that microchip out. They get the wire fixed, and the roof opens up so they can escape. Next is an amazing scene, and it leaves me with a huge question. An amazing scene of the transport shuttle trying to leave the hangar, and Vader just pulls it back down. A ship with full thrusters on, full of people, full of cargo, and he just pulls it down with the Force. He grabs it, he freezes it in the air, and he pulls it down. And I'm sitting there immediately going, no, wait a minute. If he can actually do that, why didn't he do that with the Millennium Falcon the number of times he had a chance there? I believe he had a chance on Tatooine. He had a chance when they were trying to leave the Death Star, when they were escaping in episode 4, the movie episode 4. So he's had a chance to do that before, pull down the Millennium Falcon, pull down a rebel ship, and I've never seen him do it. We've never seen him do it, but he has that power, it turns out. So he pulls this transport down, and then when he gets it down on the ground, he just tears the side of the ship open, which was just amazing. Just rips the side of the ship right off. And to decipher exactly what was going on there was a little difficult, but he pulls the side of the ship off, and I'm just playing this now in the background here. He pulls the side of the ship off, freezes it in midair. The damn ship is trying to thrust away. He freezes it, he pulls it down, and then he rips the side of the ship off. And then there was another transport behind that ship. So it was almost, I'm taking it as a decoy, that it was a decoy ship. And I'm looking right now, and I guess there's another ship off there in the background that you didn't notice at first. But man, he just rips that whole side of the ship off, another whole piece of the ship off, swipes it off, and then through the windows he sees the other transport go up. So it was a complete decoy. Someone or something was piloting that transport, but then he watches as the other transport gets away even way quicker. So he caught that first one at the exact right moment. And then here we go. And here's here's Anakin and Obi dueling. It gets pretty hot and heavy. Obviously they're doing more than just practicing. There's some pride at stake here. Obi-Wan is trying to teach him a lesson, but at the same time, maybe put him in his place a little bit. And Anakin's trying to prove himself more than he probably should with his own Jedi Master. But here's that scene there. And then let's jump over to this scene right after Vader rips off the hull of the ship. The third sister runs in. She creeps up behind him, tries to attack him, and he immediately knows all about it, right? This scene is just the scene of the episode. The moves he's doing with the Force push-pull with his hands are insane. just insane. The double lightsaber, the spinning Inquisitor lightsaber, and Vader. Okay, so Vader is as badass as we've ever seen him in any Star Wars content, and I'm talking movies, TV series. I know there's a lot of canon out there. There's a lot of books, but I'm talking about, and I'm watching kind of the full scene right now here on my left. I can't show it to you; won't let me stream Disney Plus with you, but I was able to grab a couple of clips just to throw in the video here. But this battle back and forth with the third sister and Vader is absolutely epic. It is a dope fight scene. It is what we've been waiting for. It is what we needed. Honestly, I wish it went on for 5 more minutes. I was enjoying it so much. You can only get so much. I mean, you can't have a 10-minute scene, but it was fantastic. Tons of force moves, tons of great lightsaber choreography. Just she's having flashbacks to Order 66. When he's got her down on her knees, and just an amazing fight scene. I really, really enjoyed that. So we've been building up now. This is episode 5. We finally got to a full-on, we kind of got a half of a fight scene with Obi and Darth Vader. We got a full-on fight scene with the third sister. Thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyed seeing that. Guys, comment in the comments below and let me know what you thought of that scene. Yeah, just really cool. Excuse me, I'm battling a little bit of a cold here, but there she is on the ground with the Grand Inquisitor pin on her chest. And who walks in? The mother-father Grand Inquisitor walks in. We knew he wasn't dead. We talked about it. We said there's no way. Brandon Alamo promised all of you that he was not dead. Brandon Alamo from 5 Idiots Talking Toys. Thank you very much for watching me right now. Please subscribe to the channel if you like this content, if you want to hear our toy reviews, see our talks about vintage collecting vintage Star Wars toys, modern Star Wars toys, and reviewing the new pop culture and sci-fi stuff that's been coming out, especially Star Wars. Please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment below. I appreciate you. This episode is winding down right now, and it is just amazing. The saber goes through the third sister's chest. They leave her on the ground. The Grand Inquisitor has some great lines while Vader just stands there looking down. It is a badass ending to this episode. And then we finish with Obi-Wan thinking about Luke, and then a shot of Luke Skywalker, young Luke Skywalker in bed. So the next scene is obviously there's going to be some action involving Luke Skywalker. I don't know how much the actor, the kid, is going to be involved, but now the mission becomes, making sure that Luke is safe. Bail Organa might be on the way, but just a really great episode from beginning to end. Great story-driven episode, but at the same time packed with action. Gave everybody what they were looking for, I think. And if you disagree, let me know in the comments below. Did you get the action that you wanted in this episode? There were multiple fight scenes. There were blaster scenes. There were the thermal detonator. There was a lot of lightsaber dueling, a lot of lightsaber action with Obi fending off the stormtroopers. And that battle with Reva and Darth Vader. Darth Vader has never been as badass as we saw. I'm telling you, that scene that they put at the end of Rogue One was the first time we got to see a modern, choreographed, assisted with CGI, but a modern, fast choreographed, super powerful Vader. And everybody ate it up. It was awesome. This, to me, was another whole level up. With the force moves that he had. I mean, he fought her with a lightsaber without his lightsaber out the entire time. He ended up taking half of her lightsaber to fight her. He never took his hilt off of his side. He didn't need to. He's that good. He is that strong in a battle. He didn't need to do that. Guys, once again, thanks very much for watching. It is 4:30 in the morning here. I stayed up, watched this episode so I could do a review, get it up for you to watch. I appreciate you checking it out. Please check out 5 Idiots Talking Toys. You can go to 5idiotstalkingtoys.com and check out everything that we have going on. We are a podcast every Sunday night that we have regular full episodes where we talk about the hobby of collecting toys, collecting vintage toys, and just have a lot of laughs and a lot of fun. We also have our podcast on all the audio places, Google, Apple, Spotify, so check us out there. But subscribe here on YouTube. It would really help the show. Give us a like and give us a comment and hit that bell icon so you can be notified of our new episodes, and hit all. We have episodes that come out during the week, short stuff, 3, 5, 7 minutes, that are really nice to just quickly digest as you go about your day. So we appreciate you spending time with us anytime you watch our episodes. Thank you very much. May the Force be with you. And I can't wait for Obi Wan Kenobi episode 6, which will be the season finale. It was a slow build up the first few episodes, and I am super excited after watching episode 5. Let's see how this thing finishes out, and we will see you soon here on 5 Idiots Talking Toys. Take care, everyone.